It's 9 days to the 7th December general election. Good morning. Welcome to the Starr Breakfast News. Coming up this morning, Executive Director of PN Africa questions rationale behind Speaker Bradman's failure to recognize Afenyo Markin as majority leader in Parliament.
For me, that was the most concerning part of the Speaker's response memo. I mean, to have the Speaker throughout the memo avoid using the title majority leader for Mr. Markin was quite concerning to me.
Also coming up, Bawumia confident that electric buses will revolutionize transport sector.
The price is 40 to 50% lower because the operational costs are lower and you are able to pass that on to the consumer.
Still in this edition, Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast urges recipients of honorary doctorate degrees to commit themselves to fostering a world where excellence is nurtured. You've got details of these stations across the country.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 1035 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Many thanks to you for choosing Star News. I am Nurein. About to begin the bulletin this morning, the Executive Director of Parliamentary Network Africa, Sammy Obing, has questioned Speaker Bradman's failure to recognize Alexander Afenyo Markin as the majority leader in Parliament. This comes after the Speaker declined the request by NPP MPs for an emergency recall of the House to address urgent government business. Speaker Bradman, in his memo, referenced the Futu MP as the leader of government business other than the majority leader, as affirmed by a recent Supreme Court ruling. Speaking to Star News, Mr. Obin said Mr. Bradman's failure to acknowledge Afenyo Markin's leadership role in the House is concerning.
For me, that was the most concerning part of the Speaker's response memo. I mean, to have the Speaker throughout the memo avoid using the title majority leader for Mr. Markin was quite concerning to me. And, you know, the optics that these things show, the impressions that they send to both sides of the House, in my opinion, does not help to deal with the issues as they are on the floor of Parliament and the issues that needs to be dealt with to have the Parliament sit amicably. Mr. Markin, yes, is leader of government business and is majority leader. In fact, when Mr. Chairman Zabunsu was majority leader, he had three titles technically, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, leader of government business, majority leader. And so these two, majority leader and leader of government business, in my considered opinion, still remains the title of Mr. Markin. And to have the Speaker clearly avoid using these titles, I'm sure the Speaker may probably have a good reason for that, but this was the most concerning part.
You heard Executive Director of Parliamentary Network Africa, Sammy Obing, speaking to Star News. Now, away from that, earlier this year, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, as part of his campaign promises, pledged to revolutionize the transport sector by introducing electric buses for public use. He argued that such an initiative will help cut down the cost of transportation by between 40 and 50% as a means of dealing with the rising cost of crude oil. But even before the elections, the buses have been unveiled to begin operations on pilot basis in Accra. Unveiling the buses, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia outlined how it will help reduce the cost of transportation for Ghanaians.
Earlier this year, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as part of his campaign promises, pledged to revolutionize the transport sector by introducing electric buses for public use. He urged that such an initiative will help cut down the cost of transportation between 40 and 50% as a means of dealing with the rising cost of crude oil. But even before the elections, the buses have been unveiled to begin operations on pilot buses in Accra. Unveiling the buses, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia outlined how it will help reduce the cost of transportation for Ghanaians.
Between 40 to 50% reduction in the fares from these electric buses. This is what you are going to see. From today, when you board it, you will see that the price is 40 to 50% lower because the operational costs are lower and you are able to pass that on to the consumer.
He disclosed that the introduction of the buses is the beginning of a broader strategy to modernize and decarbonize the transport sector.
It's the beginning of a broader strategy to modernize and decarbonize the transport sector. I envision a future where electric vehicles are the standard, with modern technology playing a key part in it.
Now, the Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Sir Sam Jonah, has urged recipients of honorary doctorate degrees to commit themselves to fostering a world where excellence is nurtured. He praised the honorees for their significant contributions and efforts to make the world a better place. Sir Jonah shared these sentiments during an honorary doctorate degree award ceremony here in Accra.
Not every day that we come together to honor individuals whose lives and work have not only inspired us, but have also redefined what it means to lead, to serve, and to excel. Today we do so with a sense of solemnity and a touch of joy, recognizing the gravity of their accomplishments and the light they bring to our world. An honorary degree, ladies and gentlemen, is no ordinary recognition. Indeed, it signifies a life steeped in purpose, commitment to the betterment of others, and an unyielding dedication to excellence. It is in many ways a public declaration that the honoree has made the world a better place, not by accident, but by intention and effort. Each of you being celebrated today has taken a unique path to arrive at this moment, from breaking barriers in education to championing entrepreneurial ventures and even balancing the art of healing with the rigors of governance. We have proven that governance to greatness comes in many forms, but always demands sacrifice, vision, and relentless determination.
You heard Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Sir Sam Jonah. Meanwhile, one of the honorees, Member of Parliament for Anyasa Wuchim, Dr. Adumaku Kisi, encouraged Ghanaians to prioritize education and refrain from inciting violence in the upcoming December election.
I've been given an honorary degree largely in health, and I'm here more importantly to encourage more people to have advanced education. I believe that there's never an end to what we need to know, and I'll use this to encourage our youth. I think President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been literally phenomenal in education. A lot of dollars, a lot of cities have gone heavily into education, and let me say human capital. And I believe that Ghana has a lot to offer the entire world, not just this country. And if we keep striving hard, many of our young ones will excel in whatever field they go into. And I think it used to be so limited. But now with what we've done, we've opened up. Art students can do science. Science students can be doing aeronautics and things like that. So a lot of avenues have come. And I would plead with people. I was in California observing the election. It went as if a pin didn't drop. And it was so peaceful. There was not a single gunshot. And let me say that Americans have, as we know, the biggest guns in the world. But their election was so peaceful. I don't believe anybody went to the grounds with any weapon. And I hope that we can observe that nobody should go with any weapon. Two people have expressed their program for this country. You dial one, and it tells you what it is. You dial the rest, you know what it is. And I am here to recommend number one for everybody.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Anyasa Wuchim, Dr. Adumaku Kisi. Now, the National President of the Ghana Bar Association, Mrs. Ifuagate, is urging young people, especially students, to move beyond aspiring for personal ambitions, but rather embrace critical thinking for national glory. Mrs. Gate, who was speaking at the Enhanced Chief Justice Mentoring Program 2024 said their individual success is intertwined with national achievement.
Creating legal frameworks that promote social and economic development. But the future of our legal profession, and indeed the future of Ghana, lies with you, and that is the truth. Each of you has the potential to be a change maker. Whether you choose to be a human rights lawyer defending the marginalized, a corporate lawyer like my dear classmates, driving economic innovation, or a lawyer of the Legal Aid Commission, ensuring justice for those who cannot afford legal representation. Your path can be a path of service. The law is a powerful instrument for social transformation. It is dynamic, it is living, a breathing instrument that adapts to the needs of society. As future legal professionals, and this is a prophecy, you have the opportunity to shape our future and ensure that we serve Ghana with all that we have in us.
You heard National President of the Ghana Bar Association, Ifwa Gate. This is what we have for you this morning. There's more news when you log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Nurein Abass. Many thanks for your company. Next, we have Sports Chat with Jones Aji. Do have a great day.